Much better.
Video once again.
We're essentially podcasting now because I think stream can hear us. Just so you know.
Probably.
Oh, good.
Not probably, they can.
Listen, sometimes things happen. We've never had any problems on the stream before.
What a shame.
Never. I don't think I've experienced all of one.
What do you mean?
Us problems? Never.
Well, don't worry. We're the only ones watching.
Oh no, house numbers is not following.
Why did you make that the GIF? What? We can't escape him. Why?
You're live. My email just went off.
Is there something I need to know about Rob Lowe? You know what I think would make a really good Twitch emote for Kiki's channel?
What's that?
Well, maybe I shouldn't say it out loud, but I don't know where else I could say it.
Secret.
Well, okay, I'll put it in the stream chat.
Okie dokie then. Oh, well.
It doesn't have to be like explicit, but I feel like if you had that little flannel piece around the wrist, you know, that would get the point. Is that too dark? Is that too much for this fine Sunday afternoon/evening?
Oh,
think we should
glad we have. I'm glad we have only the best gift for the stream today, featuring the Mac gifts at giftsoup.com.
Why do we keep bringing it back?
Why does it keep happening? My favorite thing lately has been doing voices like Jake Denton from Deus Ex, like the original. It's like, what a shame.
None of you guys listen to my brother and me, right?
I know the McElroy brothers, but I don't keep up with it.
I have not either.
I'm gonna see if I can find this bit and I'll drop it in the Slack, but... just because I feel like the group would enjoy it. Ugh, nobody's clipped it yet.
Also, I don't know if any of us should have told Kiki that her mic is muted on Discord.
Maybe we're not started yet.
Maybe she's gonna do all the voices for us.
That would be nice.
I just wanted to make sure that Kiki knew.
I can
I
hear all
didn't-
you guys. I've just been
I-
trying to get this stupid bot fucking banned, but apparently it doesn't exist.
Well then, if it's not real, then it cannot hurt you.
I guess, I don't know. If we get hate rated today, I'm quitting life.
Nobody's.
Anyways, well, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Third week in a row of Ace Attorney. Who'da thunk it? I'm Kiki or Goggles, and I'm gonna be voicing Emma Sky today. Thanks, Eamon. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. I can't believe it's been 9 months.
Oh my god.
It's been that long?
I can't even count that high.
Actually, longer
That's
since we
just-
started. 9
yeah.
months is how long I've been subscribed for.
Yeah, that's just the
Man.
sub thing. Yeah.
I'm E-Man, and I'll be voicing Phoenix for the 3rd week in a row.
I'm Sam. I will be voicing Edgeworth for the 3rd week in a row, plus any additional weeks that were beforehand, not also in a row.
Thank you for the addendum.
Who's next? Me?
Yeah, no.
Wait, no, it's
No.
Yeah.
Bea. I think the dog might be doing something.
The dog may be doing
What the
something.
dog
but
doing?
What the
Stop
dog?
pooping, please.
Oh no. That was private stream chat information just leaked out, Reed.
It's just so funny. I can't. Alright, well, salted caramel cookie to eat. So, hey everyone, it's Rhiannon here, also known as Ree. I'll be voicing Angel Star. Now, if you don't mind, I will click back in when I'm done eating my cookie.
Okay.
So I should go next.
Yeah, go Sven.
Okay, hello, I'm Sven, and I'll be voicing Detective Gumshoe today.
And I'm Yosh, and I'll be voicing no one again.
And I'm Bea, and I'll be voicing Jake Marshall.
Hey,
In addition, Yosh will be screaming into Kiki's ears if she misclicked.
Yeah, that is true.
That's- yes.
Oh wait, I might actually voice one character today.
Ooh.
Our favorite police.
Wait, is it the novelist police? Does he appear?
He's like the best character.
He is the
Yeah.
best character.
I'm invested in this story that he's writing now.
There's actually one character in the current game that's the best character, but yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Yeah, she's not here, so if somebody is interested in reading that...
I can do it if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
Just how it is on this bitch of an earth.
I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. Hi, Yoshi. Thank you so much. Yoshi says hello, everyone. You're all amazing.
Yoshi.
Thank you, Yoshi. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Hey,
you're
Yoshi.
thing.
Hello, Yoshi.
That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean happened to you? Wait. What? You mean what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
What did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Hi, Kay. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the party. Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
That means you.
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming.
I mean, we did literally.
Yeah,
Done.
I was gonna say, didn't they say in the end of the last trial that they showed a list of witnesses and
Yeah, yeah, it was literally in there.
Phoenix
So.
not read?
Phoenix didn't read
Phoenix
it.
just does not read.
Bro, I know
I'm
it's
sorry,
a large stack. But
What
we
is
can-
reading?
Yeah.
That's just talking with your mind, right?
What up? I'm
Just
Phoenix, I'm
talking with your
19, and I
mind,
never
right?
fucking learned how to read.
My prosecutor pushed me down the stairs. I think we should put him to death.
God.
The benefits of killing him would be I would get pushed way less.
And I would also get objected way less.
Oh my god, now I want to remake that. God.
Mia's desk. I sit here even less now that I've stopped taking cases.
Uh-oh. I have a math test coming up next week. I'd better study. I'm borrowing this desk, okay? 1 + 1 equals... Oh my god. 1 + 1 equals 2. 1 + 2 equals 3. 1 + 3 equals 4.
I can't believe I'm never past elementary school.
For
My
real.
God.
Teaching in high school math.
What-
where I'm
what
so
it-
trouble.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
What
I'm
a
saying-
duo. Phoenix can't read, Emma can't math. What the fuck is up with this team?
No, you
We're
just know
fucked.
she can math. She did her math alright.
Well, but she's got a test, so clearly she's trying to study. If that's
She
all
went
we've
from the-
seen so far.
She's working her way up. She's starting.
But
with
she
the
got
fundamentals.
everything right, so
Yeah, 3 out of what? Probably like 100 questions that are going to be on the
I'm
exam.
just saying the addition.
from what
is
we've
a warm
seen,
up
she's
for
got
when
100% of the questions right.
I always ask myself who went to college for math, like, oh, I'm a math major. And then I met someone in my class this week, and I looked at
Oh.
him and I asked if they were okay. I was like, are you okay?
Did they say no?
And then I asked why.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, okay, nothing against it, but your brain
I
might
mean,
hurt.
At least you didn't give the worst response if someone says their math, like says anything. You say "ew." That's like the worst. I love those memes that are like the worst thing they can say is
Says no.
And then
Ew.
ew.
I thought of the post where it's like they're playing the soccer game and they try to say like, "Are you fucking okay?" and "I'm sorry" at the same time. It's like,
Are you
"Are you
fucking
fucking
sorry?"
sorry?"
I think about that all the time. There's only one number left to check out.
That's right. We now know that other numbers aren't related to the murder. 777777777. An executive officer. Yes, I'm keeping that bit going.
777777777.
I believe that's 1 7 too many. No lies. We can't find out whose number this is unless we have some incriminating evidence. That's gonna be hard to dig up by tomorrow.
That 777 text box, the first time I read it, I imagined Phoenix like counting on his fingers every time she said
funny,
7.
funny thing you say that, Ree. I actually did that last week.
Yeah. Very on brand.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth is so kind giving us something like this. Hey, you don't think he likes me, do you?
Are you okay, Emma?
Mr. Wright, hurry, run! Achoo!
I leave for 1 or a couple weeks and Edgeworth gives us drugs and she just sneezed it.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Here, I'll wipe those fingerprints off your face.
Well, might as well wipe my dignity away too while you're at it.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
What? Imagine if she's checking him and like, wait, Phoenix, there's someone else's fingerprints besides your own on your face. And then she finds it's Edgeworth and repeats the.
No.
She's like, what?
And repeats her behavior from the last trial where she ran out of the courtroom.
Oh,
Oh my
my
God.
god. That would be
And
so
then she
funny.
She goes back to her room and tears down her Edgeworth poster and.
I'm throwing away all of my Edgeworth merchandise.
and turns the Edgeworth Dakimakura away.
She starts like wiping her tears, and then she realizes she's using a replica of Edgeworth's cravat and just like throws it away, like, no!
Oh.
And
Wow.
then the real Edgeworth Lost episode starts.
Story of murder, excitement, and broken hearts.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
So dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Big Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then,
Out of character, why is Phoenix asking? Phoenix knows.
Yeah, this is.
I
This is
think
just mean.
I think he's looking for like specifics, like did he stab him right there? Did he throw him out the window?
Why does Phoenix always do this? Like he keeps putting people through their traumas again. He did
Like,
this
he
with
reads
Maya
the case
too.
file. He reads the case file. This was a very traumatizing incident for the victim. Hey, victim. How could you tell? Like, I'm gonna act like I.
Detail.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's like he burst in. He had a knife, and then. What happened next, please? Please tell me.
I know they're like
Maya too.
rephrasing it content-wise, and so you make sure you know it. But sometimes it just goes over, and we're all just
Oh,
kinda
Edgeworth, remember those earthquakes?
Oh.
Phoenix goes behind Edgeworth and shakes his chair and goes, "Oh no, Edgeworth! Earthquake!
Oh
Earthquake!"
my god. Jesus. Oh my god.
Oh man.
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I could still see it now.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Permanent picture?
We're gonna skip that and go to after the incident and then go to permanent picture. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
You weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana said she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
It's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma.
And I can't believe Phoenix turned into a Super Macho Man for a moment there.
Oh my god.
Why? Because it was like bogus evidence. It was in red text. I always feel like when something's in red text.
Yeah, you have to like emphasize it.
Yeah.
There really was some bogus evidence.
Yep.
Yeah, defense attorney, brother.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
I am a
Stop.
real
Why does he keep
American.
doing this? Why does he keep doing this? It's like, hey, you remember that permanent picture that's burned into your mind? How about you describe it to the class?
I don't want to describe it to the class. It's a secret.
Also, can I feel
Then
like
you
you're-
shouldn't have been passing notes in class.
I feel like it's even though this one case might be Edgeworth not knowing using fake evidence, he studied under Von Karma. Von Karma was known to...
That's true.
Didn't Edgeworth confess to falsifying evidence at some point?
Did he?
I feel like
Yeah, no, he straight up did. He told Phoenix in court, like, I would do whatever it took to get a guilty verdict or whatever.
And didn't he?
I
prove
mean,
evidence
he
was
didn't
false?
he didn't outright admit it when he says
Yeah.
I did whatever had to be done. He didn't say he had to fabricate evidence. You can interpret that sentence as you will, like,
It's just like a weird. Anyway, so let's just keep going. I don't wanna I don't wanna take up precious time. But that was just something I was getting a little confused about. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Oh my
Was he
god. Neil
stabbed?
Marshall was stabbed right in
Flash?
front of this. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma, you've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that incident. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I'm finally starting to understand what to make... oh my goodness. Come on, Phoenix. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. There's still something that bothers me about that crime. Oh no. Phoenix, please be careful with your phrasing here. Do not pin the blade on Lana like... Lana, I'm really... No, Emma, I'm really trying to, like, get to the bottom of this, but you're really making it difficult. You're being difficult. I don't want... I just... Knowing Ace Attorney, it's gonna turn and he's gonna phrase it like that. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for...
Oh, sorry.
questioning? No, it's okay. I just was like, Phoenix, please. Go on.
Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did you run all the way to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices in the questioning room were right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? Better have another talk with her.
Alright.
Phoenix, this is girl with trauma. You're not making sense. Why aren't you making sense?
Yosh, the next thing you have listed on your thing is the underground parking lot. Does that mean we need to go there first, or are you just...
We need to go there first.
Okay. There wasn't anything on it, so I wasn't sure. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, we need to go here to get to the next location where there's things to do.
Okay.
No one's here today. Not even Miss Star.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
Well, we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
But instead, it looks like we just ended up making we ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow.
Okay. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? Took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago.
We'll have to come back later.
My, what an amazing bouquet. Just right for Mr. Edgeworth.
No kidding. Hey, there's a card on it. To be or not to be? Wendy.
Oh my god.
Wendy? I've heard that name somewhere before.
And beside it, a giant steel samurai. Wow, I want one.
Huh? There's something written on the bottom of his foot. To every cloud there is a silver lining. Wendy.
Oh boy. Was this the same message that was here yesterday? Oh my god.
I love how it's a different message every day, so it
Yeah.
implies that Randy is sending anyone every day.
Jesus. And also the fact that he keeps them in his office, like, damn.
He's
Yeah,
sweet.
either she's sending him a new one every day, or she sneaks in the middle of the night to change what she wrote.
She is a security
Yeah, I was
guard
gonna
near
say she's a
retirement.
security lady. She knows.
She knows her way
How
around
do,
systems.
Yeah.
The
I could see
system
that.
is Nothing. I am old bag. Security is nothing to me.
Whoa! What a view! It must be nice to have an office on the 12th floor.
I guess you would feel important.
Incidentally, were you to jump... Oh my god. Oh fuck.
Emma!
What?
This is so dark and I have such a fear of heights. I hate this so much.
Oh.
Were you to jump out this window, your chance of fatality would be... Got it. 99.9998%.
There's a 0.0002% chance you'd live?
Jesus, Emma.
Every morning, it is said you can see Edgeworth looking out his window, mumbling to himself. Everything the light touches.
No, no.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
My
say I could just do it. I could just get it over.
Oh, no.
I thought that's where you were going.
Edward's playing Pokemon and finds a shiny. Well, if I have those odds.
I think I've made this joke before, but it reminded me of this.
Oh Jesus.
No, isn't that from Tails Gets Trolled or something?
Yes, it is.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh! Oh! Wait! What? No!
And that's Tom's writing in the back seat.
You don't belong in this cartoon world.
Also, I think
Okay,
Maria just stepped away.
yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't remember Marsha showing up, so I
Oh,
just told
I didn't
Bea
look at
that
the
yeah, she can leave for
timestamps.
5 minutes.
Okay, that's okay. We can fill the
Yeah, 1
void.
second.
Actually, I'll even save here just in case for whatever reason, just to fill some time. So for those of you who haven't played the 5th game so far, or not the 5th game, but the 5th case, 1, how is this shaping up compared to what you thought, and 2, do you have any theories?
Oh,
the-
I
for the
feel
ones
like
who haven't-
everything is so out of left field. I have no idea who is at fault here.
Characters are acting so weird to what I remember. I feel like once we get to game 2, I'm gonna be so surprised, like, how different characters are gonna act compared to this.
That's
Um,
valid.
And in case trial day 2 was some of the most circular shit I have ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like someone put me on a tilt-a-whirl for an entire. Normally it's a roller coaster, but this was just like spinning in place. Like, are you enjoying the progression? I'm like, I am back where I started, and I feel motion sick.
What?
No,
Talk
that's
about how the
relatable.
case is making us feel. How
Oh,
PS5
yeah.
For those who have not played it.
She said, "I feel like we are watching the video again."
Yep.
After the other 3 cases, I wonder if Maya is the true brains.
Probably.
Yoshi, you're probably not wrong. It was
Yep.
it was a misdirection, but in reality. Okay, so are you back, Bea, or do you still need a minute?
Yes, no, I'm back. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. We didn't realize that it was coming up so soon, so it was awkward. awkward
no.
thing. It's okay.
I'm back now. I should be okay for the foreseeable future.
Okay, let us
I'll
know.
let you know if that changes.
Yeah, if not.
As if I'm cute. No, he's okay.
Okay.
Howdy, Bambino.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Hey, Sarah. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambino? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus.
No, not the cat.
Where are you
Say,
headed?
oh,
I was gonna. We're just the Spider-Man meme at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Each other. Where are you? Where are you headed? Where are you headed?
just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, do you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon.
Oh.
However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Okay, we're gonna go prosecute Marshall first.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
The highest honor? You mean the...
King of Prosecutors.
I knew it.
What are you looking at me for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have been really close with his brother. Okay.
Crazy that he'd be close with his brother.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
Siblings and Ace Attorney being close?
Can't believe it.
No way.
The day the
Siblings and Ace Attorney being alive?
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Oh,
Alright,
man.
Kay. Alright.
It's like the dads in Fire Emblem.
Alright.
Like the dads and what? It's...
In Fire
Sam.
Emblem.
No!
Oh god.
Or the moms in anime in general.
I was just gonna say that.
That's true.
If the mom has the side ponytail.
No.
I think that hairstyle's cute, but I guess I can't wear it.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't do it, it's not worth it.
Restyling her hair and she starts like putting her side ponytail. We're like, no, Ree! You're in a fantasy anime. You're an example of how the fantasy monster's powers work.
Wait, my sons are doing what in the basement?
Oh fuck.
Oh my god.
No.
Sorry, continue.
The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as.
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered. The evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Ms. Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious.
They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left.
Yoshi said, how many years have we learned of this award being awarded in this one case?
At least twice.
I was gonna say twice, I think. That's it. But maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
there'll be more.
They only award it when it's convenient.
I think
Rice
when
is a
we,
murder.
I think when we checked the award, it listed that it was awarded to Von Karma like a bunch of times.
of
Okay. But
That's right.
specifically, like, wow, this person got awarded very suspiciously twice.
I
Yeah,
suspect a murder's about to happen. We should give this person the trophy as a sign of goodwill that they're not involved in any way.
One time it was Neil Marshall, one time Edgeworth, and the other times it was me.
Oh no, he's here! Ah, he's come to get his award.
Every other time it was Von Karma. Back to the history.
Hey,
the
Fatal, no
origins
worries.
of the award.
Thanks for
Sure, since
stopping
we're-
by. I hope you have a good day with your brother and your friends. Thanks. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Since we are at case 5, I can make the joke of, oh my god, it's the guy who killed Gregory Edgeworth. Every time Von Karma shows up, they just don't say his name. No, hey, you killed Gregory Edgeworth, right? Kind of a dick move. Bullet went in my shoulder. Grow up. Get real.
Get real.
Did any of you watch the video I posted in the
Oh,
in
I have
meme
not
channel?
yet. I'm gonna go back
Yes.
and watch
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Like
I'm
when
laughing too hard.
when they got to the ballistic markings at the end of the trial, and things was like, I have this bullet from Gregory Edgeworth's heart, and we can compare the ballistic markings to your bullet. Then the guy in his Bronkhammer voice, you fool, Mr. Wright. Don't you know this gun also has no fingerprints. It also worked in the chemical plant.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
That feels very Von Karma.
You cannot prosecute me.
I don't wanna.
Okay, did you read this already, Bea? I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't
I
remember.
did.
I got distracted.
Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Llama's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator.
Thanks for the objection, Ari.
Aww.
Adios, Bambina.
Oh my
I'm
god,
gonna
he's
miss
dead.
him.
Oh, he just Thanos snap poof.
Oh no. Well, time to become dust in the wind.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Wow.
But yeah, I didn't mean to say, do you have a one-liner you want to say in Marshall's voice in case we don't hear from him again?
Oh no, I wasn't prepared for that.
Sorry to be to put you on the spot. I felt bad because I was like, that was a real. I stole some thunder. I was
No.
like- Sorry,
No,
my
he
improv
just
instinct-
dissipated in the air and disappeared, and with that went all of my thoughts.
Guys, there he is.
This
like
is what
the
I
cat
say
with
to your
the-
science. Oof.
It's the cat with the the loading symbol on its foot.
Yes.
Oh my god, literally.
Hey Ari, the IRL word ban is like, so when I'm streaming and somebody redeems it to make it so I can't say something. So like, for instance, if I was streaming Genshin and somebody would be like, I'm gonna redeem this and you can't say Beto anymore or whatever, something like that, it would make it so I would have to keep going and like find a workaround. I probably should put a disclaimer because I don't think it's really fair to do it for Ace Attorney, just because there's so many people talking and it's really easy. And somebody could be like, I banned the word Phoenix, and then yeah. So
And then Maya can't say any lines. Or
basically,
Mia
yeah.
can't say any lines, rather.
Yeah. So I need to put a disclaimer on it, but next time I stream, if you're awake and I'm around, you're welcome to torture me all you want with that.
You can refund
Somebody-
the points.
What?
If you go to your request queue for your for the channel point rewards, you can give the points back.
She hasn't actually redeemed it. She just asked like what it was for.
Okay.
So I don't. It's
Okay, that's a
good
much
for
easier
that.
situation.
Yeah.
That's a much easier situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just asking what it meant. She said she was gonna ban Phoenix. Yeah. See, somebody
God.
banned the word like or said or something one time. Something very very common, and I struggled. It was an interesting time. But yeah, I just don't think it's really fair. Bans the word Pokemon so the heretics may not speak. All right, I see how it is.
We're banning the word Airy.
I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
You're right. The chief detective seems the same, though.
Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to?
Right. We can come back here later.
Well, since it's quiet in the office, that gives plenty of time for the guy to write his novel.
Mm-hmm.
That man must be the chief of detectives. He's staring at the screen so hard it might shatter.
What? That case may have been fabricated? That's what I thought all along. I just never bothered to tell anyone.
There's a guy who cares about his work.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite of what just happened.
What is work? Wait, can someone explain that word?
Not real.
Federal. Shit. Fucking.
Federal shit.
My mind. I had a whole funny thing about like I lost the term for laundering. I was gonna say federal money laundering. But my brain was like, oh, I say something, idiot. Shit.
Federal shit.
Oh man, I should be saying that I work a federal job on Tuesday. Hi, IRS. Hi. Must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself.
That's it. That the villain used a time machine. Very clever indeed. That would explain the alibi. The future might not be so far away after all.
I want to play his visual novel.
He's not writing a report. He's writing a novel.
Man, imagine if some case in the future used a time machine.
What?
What?
Imagine if some case in the future
Wait, are
used a
you
time
saying that in
machine.
like your sarcastic way, as in like, haha, that totally would never happen, or are you genuinely saying imagine?
I'm just saying, imagine if some case in the future used a time machine.
Yosh.
Yosh.
Oh, Yosh.
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 Are you?
Just
Yosh.
imagine the concept of a case using a time machine.
Even
That's what I'm
Yoshi's
saying.
saying Yosh.
Yes.
It's not in the main
Phoenix
game,
Escape.
though, is it?
I don't know. I'm just bringing up a case that could use a time machine.
Yoshi said, does the time machine have a video in it? The entire time you're traveling back in time, you have to watch the Blue Badger. Yeah, no, Yoshi Yosh was saying because so the detective was like, oh yes, the villain will use a time machine, and Yosh said could you imagine if somebody if a case down the line used a time machine? And I was like, wait, are you saying that like as in your sarcastic way of like, haha, imagine that would happen, or are you saying genuinely like I think it would be funny? And he was just silent.
Look, I've heard of jumping the shark in media, but you don't fuck with time travel.
Okay,
Unless-
but what
unless
if you
do
did
a
a
multiverse theory?
Oh, wait. I know what you're talking about, Yosh. I know what you're fucking talking about.
Oh,
God damn
no.
it. I just realized what you meant. I completely forgot about that game.
What do you fucking mean?
I completely forgot the crossover because I was just thinking, "Oh my god, what if you
It's
did
not the crossover.
It's not the crossover?
I don't think it's the crossover.
I thought we
I
agreed
don't
that
know.
anything
I
with
don't know
time
of
travel
any
isn't canon.
crossover that uses a time machine at least.
Oh, okay.
The Professor Layton one?
That was my first thought because in my
That's
brain
like its own thing.
Because in
I
my
don't
brain I was like,
remember
"Oh,
there
wouldn't
being
that be
time
funny
travel.
if they did like a Steins Gate Ace Attorney crossover?" And then I remembered that the Phoenix Wright Professor Layton crossover was the thing. But that doesn't use time travel?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
So
I
you're
feel like
genuinely
I feel like if we discuss this any further, we might uncork some major stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm blind to games 2 and 3.
Okay, I guess that's fair, yeah. I'm a little concerned now. I would like to dub the crossover eventually,
Who
yes,
did
Ari.
that
Hey,
crossover?
don't worry about it. It's not like we will ever play a case that uses a time machine, right?
Stop
Well,
it! You're messing
you
up
know,
their heads. They're
you
gonna
know,
freak out.
considering that it's taken us a year to do the first game, you know, you might be right, Yosh.
I feel like we can possibly speed up. It's weird as fall approaches, we're becoming.
Well, we
easier to
don't have another like 4-hour case or whatever it is
Well, for a while at least.
at any point.
This is like one of the longest cases in the series, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But some of the later ones do get kind of up there. So
Okay.
Another thing too, like as we get closer to fall, I realize like this is probably less of an issue for like Kiki and Eli, but like most of us live in a place where it gets cold in the winter, so we are
That's
really
true.
busy in the summertime because you can't do anything.
right, yeah,
the
well,
rest of the
and a
year.
lot of people are like, yeah, taking vacations because that's natural. What happens? A lot of you guys are still in school, so like you're kind of committed to staying in one place for a while,
Right.
so that sort of thing. So like it totally makes sense that now that school started and people are not going on vacation anymore, we're able to do stuff. It's just funny.
It also feels
Yeah.
like in the summer our families are doing like way more spontaneous planning. It's
Yeah.
like,
God,
Yeah.
hey,
God,
crazy
yeah,
thing just happened.
my-
It's like, hey, oh yeah, we're going to Culver's. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, see, I haven't even gotten that. I've gotten, hey, you know how you were gonna take Labor Day weekend to chill and vibe? We're gonna go camping. And I'm like,
Oh
No.
God.
oh.
Yoshi said it in a similar tone to how in an earlier stream he said it would be horrible if we had to watch this Blue Badger video more than once. And
No.
Yoshi exactly gets what I'm going for. I'm so glad you picked up on that, Yoshi. Anyways, Aries said, so how about the game we're playing between AA1 and 2 as a break, huh? Yeah, we're gonna have some stuff in between for sure. I would definitely like to do. Well, we were talking about doing like a meme stream, where we like.
Yeah,
do
like I was thinking of that too. Like we've always like, hey, we should dub this, hey, we should dub
Yeah.
that, and then we never actually do it.
I was thinking we could do like one stream in between where we do dub some of the memes, and then I think it would be fun to do because we talked about doing like an Among Us stream where we all played as our characters. So I would like to do like 2 break streams in between before we start the second game, if that's cool. But we could talk about that off stream for sure. Because that's a little technical.
Also, Kiki, or I don't know who brought up the Professor Layton Phoenix Wright one.
Yeah.
It's not time travel, it's parallel world by book.
Oh, parallel universes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So it's not that
Okay.
one. So we're safe with that one.
Okay, well, that's makes me comforted and concerned at the same time.
I was joking when I said we were gonna cross over Phoenix Wright and Zero Escape. Please stop.
I know, for real.
He's so...
Yoshi, you're so good at Among Us. I want to play again sometime, again, and not Phoenix Wright one, and have you back on, because you're so good at Among Us. I love playing Among Us with you. Anyways, sorry. Distraction. Lana. Who was reading that earlier?
I think it was Bea.
Yeah, Bea was
Yeah,
still
it was
in
Is she
Bea.
still there? Did she step away for the dog stuff?
What the dog doing? Oh,
What
Bea
the
is here.
dog?
I heard her. I saw her mic
Bear,
unmute
you
and
there?
then mute and then.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Off the mic and because you can't hear anything from the mic right now. Hopefully,
Yeah.
her mic's doing okay.
Oh, she's typing.
Oh.
If you can't read it, that's fine. That's fine. No stress.
Oh.
I'm so sorry,
Oh,
Bea.
no.
That sucks.
Or we can do it then, because she was
yeah.
the other one we said.
Yeah, my lights are all on. Yeah. No stress. If you want to work on that, and there's just whenever you test it out, that's fine. Ree, would you mind reading Alana for now?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll have
thank
to
you.
put my cookie down. It's very good. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Jesus Christ. Phoenix.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana. Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs?
I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright.
Sorry, Aria, I didn't see your message about jumping in. I was tabbed into the Discord, but I appreciate that. That was very kind of you to offer.
A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Where have we heard that before?
No.
Mm.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Phoenix. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why would you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
You can do the lines if you want to, Bea.
Oh, is she back? Is it back on?
I think she is.
Yeah, is it
There you are.
working now?
I
Hi.
hear
Yes.
you. Yay.
Hi.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
Is this the first character to be voiced by 3 different people?
I think so.
Probably.
She was amazing.
Very happy, and you can do it too.
Just have an echo. She becomes like an otherworldly being, and there's just like
Oh.
multiple voices coming out of her at once. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant?
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Him and Gant is everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. That doesn't sound...
Oh, that sounds a little vigilante.
Exactly.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was...
To gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right?
Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe you should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right?
Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
Even at the same office.
And they were roommates.
And they
Oh
were roommates.
god. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother, and he was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning, and we were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
He tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark.
You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. Investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself.
That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Drake. Oh, Dark. So close.
Josh? Drake?
When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies?
Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. Picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident?
That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm?
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, it's changed completely.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
Time-sensitive question, do you have talk to TTS on subs or donations? I don't think so. I think I did have it on something, but it required me to approve them and I couldn't monitor them both, so I don't. I'm sorry, Ari. Sorry, go ahead, Eamon.
That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damien Gant and I shared. Office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. Chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder.
I did, Yosh. I straight up went Nick, Eamon, like, that was bad. It was very bad. Alright. Move.
Your Honor, I balled into the real world. Your Honor, I'm fucking balling. I still love that gift.
Man, for some reason I thought you said, Your Honor, I'm bald. I was like, what
Bald.
happened?
Oh, no.
Your Honor, wig!
I feel like if you said, Your Honor, I'm bald, he'd be like, well, I am too, but you don't see me making a big deal about it.
Oh, man. This place is always pretty empty.
What? What? God just subscribed.
Wait, who did?
God? Ari gifted a tier 1 sub to God? Okay. That makes me nervous.
Questions for this
Thank you, Ari. I guess. I don't know. Who is this person?
It's
Let's
God.
just-
You don't know who God is?
I mean, Lord of the Twitch.
Let's
Okay.
just continue.
All right. Well, okay. Sorry, that's distracting. Anyways.
Hey, it's deserted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God. I read the whole line earlier, but
Yeah, no,
right
it's
before the
okay.
bad thing. It's okay.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they are in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us.
With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do. About Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
Hello, Dangerous Fear. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I was also gonna gift a sub to anime so you'd have God and anime on your side. That would have been very funny, Ari.
We truly can't be stopped.
Truly.
I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? Well, why'd you fucking ask, Emma? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits.
Why would you say that? You fucking blew it.
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. So you're just gonna go in anyway?
Yep.
Alright, well.
Where are you going, guys? Guys, please.
Oh,
We're just gonna go visit Edgeworth. Don't worry about it, sir.
that's not at all ominous.
Oh, okay,
Easier to
okay.
ask for forgiveness than for permission.
It's a legal hellscape.
It's a legal hellscape.
Is this some Phantom of the Opera vibe going
Yeah,
on?
this is not at all ominous.
Mm-hmm.
Edgeworth appears wearing the Phantom of the Opera mask.
Oh,
He's very
Here's-
drunk.
this right here is the reason I'm like, oh my god, Gant looks like Ganondorf. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it
Ganondorf.
is!
Yeah, he's got-
Oh
the
my
fucking
god! Zelda, you okay?
Oh my god.
Gant's gonna be in court and he's gonna hold his fist up, and then it's the Triforce of Power is gonna appear.
Let's play tennis.
Aries says Gantendorf.
Ganondorf.
Ganondorf. So yeah, we're just gonna play tennis now, right? Because we're at the final boss.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, Phoenix is dissociating. Whoa, where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Did you fucking remember this place, Emma?
Hey, remember your trauma? In the chief's office?
Hey, remember when you were here?
Remember when you said it was imprinted in your mind, except for apparently nothing else about the office except for the murder part?
Remember how you
Repression
almost
is a hell of
got
a drug.
stabbed there?
What'd you say, Sven? I didn't.
I just said remember how you almost got stabbed there.
Oh, yeah.
Stabby stab.
Pull out the evidence box. Ah! With the knife in hand, aiming it
With
at
this
Emma.
exact knife!
Whoa! Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Buck. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me piano.
Notes. It said notes.
Oh, okay. I accidentally did it too far, and I thought there was a P. I never could remember where
Oats.
she was.
Oh no.
You've summoned him.
Oh god.
Maybe
I'm
it's
not
not a good
wrong.
idea.
Okay.
Maybe it's not a good idea when you're trying to sneak into an office to play the loudest goddamn instrument known to man.
Yep, yep.
We've summoned Gankendorf.
It's like secretly connected to all the vents in the building, so I
Oh,
really...
he's just like, hello.
Oh, he's composing again. It's okay. This is normal.
Yeah, of course.
This is
Okay,
fine.
Yeah, Kay said they're low.
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, righto. You been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. Been
Yeah, I
kinda
just beat
busy
the water
lately.
temple.
I can appreciate that. I had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
I'm sure he's heard a couple of provocative statements from Lana.
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
Oh, this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I wonder if it's the sharp object that's radiating a white aura. Do you notice it yet? A sharp object? Look, Blue found a clue.
Oh my
It's
god.
it's a blue paw print on the fucking spear.
Oh my god, I want that crossover now.
I can't
Jesus
quite...
Christ.
as someone who grew up loving Blue's Clues and who loves Phoenix Wright, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Oh no! What if one of the salt or pepper shakers broke and it was just all the salt and pepper?
No,
spilled out?
stop.
Oh, Jesus.
Blue Skidoo didn't that autopsy report.
No.
It was updated.
Oh my
We
god.
just got a letter. It's from the district court.
Ah! Oh my god, what if when Edgeworth goes to give you the updated autopsy report, he sings that song?
No.
You just got a letter.
We just got a letter. I
Wonder who
who
it's from. Oh, it's Edgeworth. Fuck.
Well, I guess it would be a case of assault.
Oh. Okay.
I can't quite seem to put my finger on
Wow. We're just gonna go ahead on that one. Pretend that didn't happen.
I will literally actually, here's a fucking wager I'll make. If that spear doesn't get involved in this case at all, I will give a gift sub to you.
Oh, okay.
Kiki, I will give a
Involved
gift
how?
sub.
Involved how?
Look,
Involved.
it's glowing. Like if it becomes a contention point where we have to point out that spear in the picture,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
if it doesn't happen, I will give a gift sub. Hold me to it. I'll give a gift
Okay, I will try to remember that.
I will get involved.
sub.
What are you gonna do? Get involved.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm gonna lock up here, so let's go out together, yeah?
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out! I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
Seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied a request to search the crime scene. Hard quotes. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Oh my god, we're breaking in.
Breaking and entering.
Don't you break us in. I have a feeling that's actually what it's going to be.
Wait,
How
what?
do you mention
Don't you
that?
break us in. I called it.
Hey, pal. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh, that was. I thought that was.
No, that was me. No, let Sven say the line. Let Sven. I feel so shit for that. I'm sorry.
Hey, Bill.
There it is. Yeah,
There we go.
There you go.
There's the real gumshoe. That's the real gumshoe. Fucking eject me for that shit.
Oh my God.
Trying to be someone I'm
I didn't
not.
really think it was him because of the voice. I just heard the words and I was like, "Oh yeah, click." My brain just like reads and then clicks. So I was like,
Yeah.
as soon as I did it, I was like, "Wait, that wasn't Sven."
I'm so sorry. If we were doing this in person, I'd be like, just like, hugging and petting Sven. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your
Oh my
line.
God.
Okay. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from
Oh.
serving everyone coffee.
Oh, buddy.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Ari said that sprite of Gumshoe was like the DreamWorks face, but sad, kinda, yeah.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes. Okay. First. I don't know if this is the order it needs to be in, but I'm doing it in the order.
That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself.
I got it! I'm the culprit! Very clever indeed. Who would have thought of multiple personalities? I don't see how else he could have done it. I guess it's time to have my head checked.
It's way past time for that.
Phoenix is really brutal in this case.
Phoenix has been so mean.
Phoenix is just fucking done.
He is.
He's an
See that
asshole.
Phoenix being a douche counter.
I mean, when you have a person who's absolutely telling you not to defend her, saying that she was the one who killed, and then you have to deal with all of the personalities in this case, I would be done too.
I guess that's fair, but he was done from the very beginning, so...
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any more cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just like to make sure they're all circling him, like, laughing, like, ah! And he's just, like,
God.
dead, and he's, like his eyes are sunken, and he's
Yeah.
got a coffee cup in his hand. He's like, I
Yeah.
didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. That man must be the chief of detectives. Staring at the screen so hard it might shatter.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Police department makes fatal error? What do I do? Quick! Someone bring me classifieds! Help wanted section!
What's for duty? He's, oh my goodness, he's treating it like the Titanic. He's trying to jump ship.
Oh no. Yo, Sean, the things that I'm supposed to present, is that, do you know off the top of your head, is this one that I should do ahead of talking to him, or should I do them after?
Probably before talking to
Okay.
him.
Usually that's the case, but I know sometimes it gets a little wonky. Hi, Growl! Hello! Welcome in! Hope you're having a good day!
This guy almost made us lose the... Oh no!
Jesus.
This guy almost made us lose the case today.
What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain and the evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well.
To admit he's right, though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we're able to prove another possibility today. Possibly that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m.
Oh, that's good to hear, Growl. Yeah. I'm doing well. I think everybody else is having a good time, too. Thanks so much for asking. Lumino.
Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too.
Wow, is that a new type?
No.
I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height.
Base height? Hey, let me see that.
Excuse me?
Oh my god.
I hate this.
Okay, there are 2 ways we could take this. Now I'm gonna assume Gumshoe would like to have a taller height. He would like to stop being 5'11".
Oh,
Oh
we're
my
talking
God.
about height. I didn't think we were talking about height.
Yeah, we're talking about that height. That's
Oh!
what we're taking. Yes.
He wants super spiky hair. Got it.
Looming tall, new and improved growth formula.
You mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face.
Oh my god, no!
Oh my god, it is. Wait.
It's so gullible.
Why is this case so cursed? I don't know, Ari. It's something, that's for sure.
You know, Gumshoe, if you say the word oranges really slowly, it sounds like gullible.
Aww. Poor baby.
But seriously, if anything ever happens to him, I'm probably gonna cry.
Oh yeah, same.
Same. That's the ID card record, isn't it?
Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m., nice, the victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number.
7777777.
My God, we're still doing this. It's 1/7 too many, detective. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch.
Hey, that powder's used for detecting fingerprints.
Hey, that's the good stuff I bought.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us.
He did what? All I have is some flour.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, buddy. Oh no!
Oh my God! Are you okay, detective?
Quick, run! Action!
It's okay.
If it's any help, one time we could nap on the bank. What?
Oh my god!
No!
Someone give this man like a raise.
Oh, baby.
Oh my god.
Am I not comforted?
On
About
today's
you,
episode of
Venus.
Ace Attorney: The Eternal Suffering of Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yep, you're right, Bear.
One day Gumshoe's gonna say fuck it and let his demons out to play.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
He's
it's
a-
wow.
okay. I
he's-
wouldn't be mad if he became a murderer. It makes sense by now.
Gumshoe is a
Honestly.
beefcake of a man. Have you you get this man like he'll destroy all of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Gumshoe for Smash.
Oh
Dare.
yeah.
Oh, a lost item report, huh?
Very impressive, detective. You knew what it was right off the bat.
Oh.
Well, I'm a master of misplacement, you know?
He's probably very familiar with it.
Master, that is such a cool ring to it.
Oh.
The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost.
My god.
There's a higher power at work here.
Wow, a higher
Here's a
power.
cinnamon roll.
Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence.
I mean, you probably should let her hold it anyways, but
I like your name change.
Oh no! What paint pencil?
oh my god. Oh my god.
I still find it funny that I just realized our icons do show up in the top left corner of stream, and I always
Yep.
forget my title is didn't play the 5th episode.
Yes. I'm gonna have to change my name next time to didn't play the second game.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I do think it's very funny that like half of us have like actual puns most of the time, and then you guys is just straight up like a whole fucking sentence.
Yo, dude, I
Yeah.
I fucking cleared this one. I fucking next game. I didn't even make it past the prologue. I started the prologue and I knew this was gonna be a long case. My
Oh my
young
God.
kid self had the instincts to know this was one of the longest cases in the game. I think I even looked it up too to confirm it when I was younger, and I was like, "No, son," and then I skipped it.
Oh
I
gosh.
took it from my DS and I skipped it,
I don't know if yours counts really, Ari. I mean, it's funny. I just don't know if it's necessarily a reference, unless you think Meekins is a bastard, in which case maybe it does. That seems complicated.
I mean, he is a policeman.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
that is true. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about it in that.
Political today.
I forget that people say that. I'm so used to not seeing it spelled out, so I'm just used to saying you know what? Yeah, that is right, Ari. I'm sorry. It does count as a reference. I forget that it has a meaning. I just see
I
the
can't
emotion.
believe Officer Marshall would do something like that.
You know Officer Marshall?
Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus.
Oh.
Really?
plants is nice.
He said, "Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles."
This is true. Plants are good to talk to. They won't talk or judge back.
Note to
Very-
self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a
No.
cactus.
No! Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh.
Oh my god, no one told him? He
Aw.
really is out. No one told him about anything that's
Poor
happened in trial
baby.
today.
He's so
doesn't-
he's so
God.
lost.
Oh my gosh, I imagine him starting off with this super small cactus, and then the more he talks to it, the bigger it gets, and then he has
Yes.
a beautiful, massive cactus.
Why would Edward be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Sky is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Not a great thing to say about
Your
someone
sister
you're
Puss is
defending.
guilty.
Oh my god.
Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Ashworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him?
in our world, only those with talents rise to the top. Mr. Ashworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Is that the random police officer or is that like the chief?
And it
This
says
is-
police and not chief.
Okay. Hey Dick, keep up the good work!
Yes, sir!
Let's go out for lunch again sometime, my treat.
Oh,
Aw, he
Yes,
has
sir.
fun.
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir!
You don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Ashworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier, while the coffee was brewing.
see, even Goshu read it.
Oh my god. Phoenix, you should be not this is not a dunk on Gumshoe. But if Gumshoe beat you to reading the damn file the case you were working on, Phoenix, get your shit together, my god.
God.
Get some empathy, get a cup of coffee, and start reading. Good lord, I am going to take you by your spiky hair and throw you into the ground like an ostrich.
Why are you throwing ostriches? Should we be concerned?
No, they bury their own heads. That's what an ostrich does. Or maybe that's a tall tale. I don't know. Anyways, he seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything?
The only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack.
Spinal attack? You mean?
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
Seems like the Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
His final smash, Yosh.
No.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it got something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all working somewhere in here, okay?
Powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Oh god, we're gonna
Well, alright.
we're gonna flash a knife in a police officer building.
Hey, Goshu, look
Like,
at this
this is
knife.
all very smart people.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal.
An animal? Oh, that's not me. You
Oh,
have to read
God,
fast.
it's auto-scrolling.
Oh god, I can't.
Oh my
I can't
god,
keep
wait,
up.
wait.
Oh,
Tragic
wait.
backstory.
Wait, can't you view the like the past messages somehow?
Maybe in the options?
There's some button I know you can do where you can view the message history.
Some have that, but I don't know if this one does.
A Joker came up on the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
And
think,
all
yeah,
because of a
essentially, I
single
think it's
snail.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
I think it said he.
Like he killed the person
Yeah, I
who
think
witnessed the
he
crime.
killed the second witness, and then
I just
a witness that witnessed the second crime, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just
and
kept
then
killing
he saw the
witnesses.
snail, and he wondered, the world truly is unfair, isn't it?
All right.
Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Why did you say that like in a joking manner? It sounded like you were like, heh.
God's
Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
There never is, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, he turned himself in.
Yes. Like in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Right? As someone like, I feel like the true crime fans can attest to this. That this doesn't really sound like a serial killer. It just sounds
No.
like. It sounds
Mhm.
far from a serial killer. A serial killer is very specific in who they kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't just kill.
Yeah, unless you have like there's like very rare cases where that doesn't fit, but most of the time this is not even close to what.
Yeah.
This is just a man freaking out because he didn't know how to handle his crime.
Yeah, so he decided to kill some
I mean, I
more.
guess
Not
if he
a-
really did kill all the people, by definition, he is a serial killer. But because I think a serial killer generally is considered somebody who's killed.
Oh no,
3 or
Henry!
What the fuck does
He didn't know how to handle his initial crime of hitting someone with a car, so he decided to get more personal for some reason.
Yeah, I think by definition, a serial killer is anybody who kills 3 or more people not at the same time. So if it's stretched out, but when you think of typical serial killers, they usually do have like a modus operandi and stuff like that they work
I just-
under. And they do it
Henry,
for
I
the
also
thrill.
don't know what everyone has against cereal.
I just assumed when they said the Joe Dart killings, I assumed it was like a long thread
Right.
of murders they couldn't explain, and then they finally found him, and then they started interrogating him.
They absolutely
That's
make
what
it
I
sound
assumed.
like that 100%, but once you actually learn it, it's like, this doesn't sound like a regular, like a normal serial
there's-
killer.
Man, the mystery keeps kind of like this case keeps setting up mysteries that seem bigger than they are, and then they're just like, oh no, it's just poop on the floor. Someone left their someone left their gum on the floor. I'm gonna stab somebody. That's what this
Please
case
don't.
feels like. It's like minor inconvenience leading to serious crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prosecutor Marshall. The crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness, aka Emma. Oh, Emma.
Okay.
I thought there was gonna be another line after that.
I know, it left off in a weird way. Alright, murder weapon. Here goes nothing.
Are we gonna get? Oh, no. About this knife I'm holding in a non-threatening way.
Hey, are you pointing a knife at me, pal?
Sir, I'm holding it parallel to you. It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife been locked away in the locker.
Wanna play the knife game, Gumshoe?
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again! Oh, okay.
My memory is not that sharp, pal.
Oh, not move. What the fuck am I doing? We're like, alright, thanks, bye!
This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the story about it act. Plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the
Totally.
broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body.
Oh my god, it's case 4 all over again.
It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet. Down to the last fiber.
Oh my god, it's case 4 again.
That's pretty conclusive.
I don't know, a piece of metal. A piece
The
of
ballistic
metal found in
markings
it.
were definitely the same.
Oh, Phoenix is in the corner, like just. fetal
What are the
position,
ballistic
like,
markings again?
Oh my god, it's happening again.
The ballistic knifing.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. And that's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, just ask Chief Gang.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. Oh, never mind. I was gonna beg something different. Never mind. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
Yes.
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be ganked.
Oh,
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
Wow.
Again.
Oh no! What? No! Why would you?
oh no! No!
Why would you say that?
What about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh,
Emma and Maya have some similar brainwaves, man.
you
I
know.
guess I will say in Emma's defense, it was good she asked because imagine if like you put a card in that doesn't have data on it and like alarms go off.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's
that would have been
true. I
very
would-
bad.
That's I can understand because Gumshoe is not the one to like, hey, and then like just like freaking demolish Emma for holding that. Like,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I found someone's ID card when they died and I plugged it in and alarm started going off. I would recommend doing it.
when you
That
when you
sounds like
use
something
it, when,
he would know from like secondhand too.
Oh.
when
Oh, the
when we're
tree.
using Goodman's ID card, are we weekend at birdieing him around to get
Oh
to
my
places?
God.
Like just we're just puppeting a corpse around to get to
That
places.
should be like, guys, I found his credit card.
Oh.
Let's party.
Yo, I hope
Drinks on
Goodman is
me.
every next of kin. No defaulting credit.
Oh.
Oh.
In other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
Oh no! Emma,
I can
we
hear you,
showed him
pal.
the knife. We're out of options.
Oh no.
I have a second knife.
What? Wait. Stop it.
Everything
Emma
okay?
starts doing.
Oh, are you talking to Emma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Emma
was like,
starts doing like. Emma's
Put
got a
your
butterfly.
knife
Emma's,
away.
Emma's got a butterfly knife and she's doing knife tricks with it.
Oh my god.
She's like showing off to Gumshoe.
oh. Is this right? Hold on. Move to the underground parking lot. Everyone sees Move to the high.
For some reason, Grossberg's theme just
There we go.
popped back into my head for no reason. Because it's so good.
Mhm.
I wonder what Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is! It looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here?
Edgeworth, my beloved. It's like the heart locket meme where it's...
Yes.
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor.
It's the poem he was writing for Phoenix.
Oh my, Phoenix, you dick.
Oh my god.
Phoenix, you're such an asshole. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live in the past for 2 years. I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Just glaring at you.
Phoenix got this big dopey smile because like everything is hell. Talking to Edgeworth up, he's like, "Oh, I'm at peace. Hi, Edgeworth. What do you fucking want?" Emma's like, "What is this love language?"
I once dreamed of being a defense attorney a long time ago.
What? You wanted to be a defense attorney, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yet, a clear path is laid out before me. I have no time to look back on what might have been.
Okay, well that was dark.
Come now, right. You can't seriously expect me to just sit down and chat with you about the case over a cup of tea.
Love that, actually. But this isn't the case, remember? This isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself.
So I did.
Chief Gant gave this to you that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department.
The chief is a very competent man. But sometimes he does things that don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense.
Is there any time comes to... No!
The joke- it popped into my mind. I was like, no, I don't want to be mean to him. I don't want to be mean to him. And then Phoenix does it for me.
That's so
Hey.
sad.
If I ever need to sum up Case 5 to anybody, it's Phoenix is an asshole. Just
Oh my
for
god.
no reason.
Yeah, we don't
I was
have
about
that
to ask,
piece
do we
yet.
not have that yet? Okay.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact.
But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why is it all come to this?
You and Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
First, last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me.
Oh.
To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
Only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
Picture. Something seems strange about it. Can you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
Finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in the case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
The story we heard yesterday. She came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for, clearly. You can tell by the ... This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office.
Little Lounge. Computer. Furthest from the doors. Oh, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the Chief Prosecutor's the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes.
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now.
Remember what?
That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on.
Okay.
Base and contradiction filled. I'm sorry.
This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, the second means shield. Have you ever heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake?
Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, these very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh!
Did we need the frickin' cornered?
Yes, that was 100% necessary.
Definitely.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize.
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. That's so. Why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the reward abolished.
Chief Gant. Oh boy. A spear-like weapon. A spear-like weapon.
Oh.
A gift
That's-
sub is riding on the line.
Oh my god.
A work desk. It's quite tidy, as one might expect.
What a nice desk. Easy to use and easy on the eyes. It's polished so high I can see my own reflection. I don't think I clicked on the right thing.
No, you didn't.
Damn it.
Strange.
Oh, it says under. God damn it.
Why did I just picture Detective Gumshoe?
Maybe I'll take that name plaque as a souvenir.
What? Don't. He'll sue you.
Damn it. I thought it said on the desk. My bad.
I mean, on the desk, under the desk, same thing.
I just briefly
wonder what-
glanced at it.
I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. He's still in here. Okay.
You crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Edgeworth, your butt's kind of cute. Oh my god, I actually got the line right. Hey, Edgeworth. Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Phoenix! Is that Detective Gumshoe out there? On the window there? Oh no, he's gonna fall! He's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
Even.
Run.
What? Letter of...
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you.
Isn't this bitch 16 years old? Is she actually not able to read this word, or...
I think she's just. I think she doesn't believe it.
Okay, okay, just
It
making
says-
sure.
Letter of resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean.
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's serious.
Okay, and now we get to do the really shitty thing.
Run! They say that when there's smoke, they pinch back. Sorry, I had to. Apparently, I was so caught up in the smoke, I lost sight of the truth.
Edgeworth.
The others are right. I have no right to serve as a prosecutor.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you were only doing your job.
I've always made my own decisions about what I can or cannot do. That hasn't changed. Forgiving myself is something I cannot do.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Yeah,
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if I can use it for anything.
Well, alright. Bye, Edgeworth.
Bye. Oh no, are we gonna?
Pretty sure this is...
This is probably Angel thing.
Yeah, I think this is Ree.
Oh, real
Is it
quick.
me?
Oh, is it not?
If we, it's Ree. It's Angel Stone.
It is Angel Star.
But real quick, if we need to stop soon, we could probably do that after talking to Angel.
Okay.
Okay. that sounds good.
Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter-pound of roast beef?
Miss Star. I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk.
Oh.
Still,
Go on.
uh-huh. Okay. I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
I didn't think you'd start giving us fucking anatomy lessons. Good lord. Yeah, okay, yeah. Everyone in
Is
this
this what you
trial
think
was...
I do in school?
You asked that.
Pretty accurate.
Animal science / education. Good lord. Good lord. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident.
And other weird things, apparently.
Yeah. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness?
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Oh yeah, Yoshi, her head is amazing. I love it.
That shit looks raw. That looks like raw ground beef.
It's
that is
fucking
not...
raw. It's fucking raw.
You were trying to just... Anyways.
Day one was which month? Yeah, that was probably like June, maybe July. I don't remember. It's been a hot minute
Oh,
since we saw her
man.
the first time.
It all dates back to 2 years ago.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was back then. Those days were steamier than a hot bowl of gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall. Must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Sky.
My sister.
The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo.
I just have to say, I really like that picture of Lana. I just think it looks really cool.
Same.
This is like the 7th time they've showed this CG to us.
I know,
It's a really good
so
picture.
cool though.
At least it's not a video. At least it's not a video.
That's true.
Lana and Chief Gant.
The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in the court was being manipulated. It seems our team never found would suddenly appear items, oh my gosh, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us, save Goodman, were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Sky transferred to prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on this matter.
He was being used?
Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal.
His magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence? What do you mean?
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though.
I think she's talking about forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked, and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Starr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that?
Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There's only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred?
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her to change.
At last. I'm finally getting close to the... No, you're not, Phoenix. Finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Oh my god. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Yeah, and I hope you stop telling people about that fun cow fact to everyone.
It's a very good fact.
I don't...
It's a very
No.
intriguing fact.
I
You
think
know
it's a-
someone did that to
It's-
goats and camels too?
I was like, technically, it's not even a fact. She was just asking, like, what do you think they were, thinking? It's not like oh yes,
What do you
this
think
happened.
the person who did the
No,
goat
she-
was?
She compared Phoenix's curiosity to the person who did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like oddly curious sometimes, and it's kind of weird.
Pretty sus, if you ask me.
Oh, it's extremely sus.
Checking out an office is similar to ogling some titties.
Oh my god.
What is this equation?
They weren't ogling them; they were eating them.
Oh,
Well,
I don't like that phrasing.
I don't know. Good lord. Good night, everybody. Animaniacs.
Thanks for coming to this.
Wow, what a
Yeah, for real.
what a
Whew. Well, I think, like Yosh said, this is probably a good place to end it because there's a lot more to this chunk after this before we get into the
Yes.
trial aspect of it. So, not a lot, but like
Yeah,
a good chunk.
there's no way we'll get to the end of this investigation in
Yeah.
like an hour.
Yeah,
Oh my god, you wrong.
So we're gonna leave it here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, Yoshi. I'm glad to hear it was amazing. Thank you for stopping by and helping make it even better. thank you guys all for being here with me. I just looked into the stream chat and saw the cool bug facts picture. That surprised me. Okay. I'm gonna raid my friend Trevor because he's streaming Dead by Daylight. So we're gonna go hang out with him. If you feel like it, not cool too. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next
Goodbye.
time.